Hello, my name is Jimmy and this is the 2022 Honda Odyssey. If you're looking for a minivan these days, there aren't a lot of choices. There's the Sienna, the Carnival, the Voyager or the Pacifica, as well as this. So technically only 4 choices. So what makes the Odyssey stand out? Well, let me show you. The Odyssey is certainly not new. Introduced back in 2018 and got a refresh last year with a slightly different front end. It looks, okay. I guess it's a little bland considering the Carnival looks as good as it does, and the Pacifica, it just has that certain type of elegance about it. But this, well, it certainly doesn't stand out, but it's a minivan. Does it need to? You let me know in the comments down below. There aren't anything really that specific for me to go into on the exterior, but let's go into the inside, starting with the trunk. The trunk space within the Odyssey, well, it's sufficient. It's actually quite large behind the third row. There is a kick to open tailgate, which is nice. And well, as you can see, there's plenty of space here. And if you need, you can fold down the third row to have a completely flat load floor. But let's go to the third row. Stepping into the third row is not difficult. The seats, they fold out of the way and you can just kind of glide right in. As someone at my height at 5'11", I have plenty of headroom. The back here just cave in a little bit, but for long distance driving, I'll be completely fine here. There's baby shades on the side, there's headphone jack, USB ports. It's not bad back here. As for the second row, it's very comfortable. The seats, they slide forward as well as aft. And because they're the Honda Magic seats, I can slide side to side as well. So you can put your kids closer to work together or apart when they're having a little bit of a fight between them. That is, of course, you do take out that middle seat. The middle seat is fully removable, as well, I have it right now. I have it stored currently inside my garage, but unfortunately it doesn't stow on board. You can have it behind the third row, but it just kind of tumbles everywhere. There's no safe space for you to really latch that within the vehicle. But if you do take out that seat, it just creates a bigger cabin in here. And that's one of the positives about the Odyssey. The middle seat being removable the way that it is, well, if you want to have a 7-passenger like I have right now, you can. But if you need that 8-passenger, you certainly can as well. And if you want, you can have 3 child seats in the second row here. Fold down that third row and hold, a big barbecue, a freezer, what have you. All that can be possible within this, quite large cabin. Actually, in speaking of child seats, I just want to let you know I am a child passenger safety technician, and I was able to put in quite a few child seats in here. I was able to install 2 rear-facing seats behind each other within the second and the third row. As you can see here, there's no problems with that. And if you want to fit 3 across in the middle, that's also not a problem. As for the front seats, they're quite supportive. They're heated as well as cooled on this touring model. In front, I do have a heated steering wheel. On the older Honda steering wheel, it's not the same one as a new Civic. Behind that, a digital cluster that just shows me what I need, nothing more. There isn't a heads-up display neither, but I think for what it is, it's certainly fine. As for the infotainment, it is a little bit smaller comparing to, some of its competitors. It's still a good system though. It is a little laggy at times, but it has everything that you need. There's Apple CarPlay, there's Android Auto, but you do have to plug it into the USB port underneath. In the center console here, there is a wireless charger, but there's no wireless connectivity. You do have a cabin talk system, so it announces your voice in the speakers in the back, as well as you have the cabin watch, which is a little camera located just right where the DVD player is. That system, it's pretty good. You are able to see the passengers in the back. However, the placement of the camera isn't as far back as I would like for rear-facing seats as I have right now. If my child's a little bit older, when they move to a forward-facing seat, then it wouldn't be that much of a problem. But at this point, I just wish the camera was placed a little bit further back, like the Pacificas. As for the rest of the cabin, there's a lot of buttons in here, but it's actually quite easy and simple to use. If you like buttons, this is more traditional than some of the other manufacturers, and you're gonna like this. You can press auto, your climate controls right there. Everything is, nice and easily, just in hand. The only thing that's a little bit weird is the shifter, but you're gonna get used to it after a little bit. It's not that difficult to use. But let's go for a drive and see what the Odyssey feels like on the road. All right, on the road with the Odyssey. Underneath the hood, there's a 3.5 liter V6. It makes 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. All that is mated to an automatic to the front wheels, and it's actually quite quick. This is actually the fastest minivan in its class, which means when you bury the throttle, it screams a little bit. It's actually quite good. It just means that getting on the highway, merging and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about it. Unlike the Sienna, which is a 4-cylinder, that is a hybrid system, but I mean, that's fully tuned for economy. I mean, it does really good in terms of economy, but when you're on the highway and you just need to pass someone, the Sienna just doesn't have the guts for it. This does. And I mean, when you're driving around normally, it's really, really quiet. On this touring trim, I have laminated glass all around, or acoustic glass, I should really say. And because of that, it's actually a really, really quiet cabin. It's more quiet than the rest, I believe. And it just makes the cabin feel a lot more upscale. Sure, I don't have the nicest materials. Some would argue the Pacifica might feel a little bit better inside. I agree to that, but I must say, in here, because of how quiet it is, and there's no like odd squeaks and rattles, I just feel like they just put a little bit more effort into this vehicle when building it. And because of that, it actually drives and handles really well. I mean, it handles like a minivan should. It's soft, it rolls, it's everything that you want a minivan to do. It's not sporty by any means, but it's very, very maneuverable. In tight parking spaces, like I was able to, do a U-turn and do stuff that you normally would expect out of like, a four-door sedan. And this does it very well. And all at 55,000 Canadian dollars. Yeah, it's not the cheapest in its class. I mean, that in Canada anyways, the Carnival is definitely the one to beat. But in Canada here, when you're buying an Odyssey, the base model is the EXL, and then you can get the EXL with the rear entertainment system, and then you get the touring trim. So you don't get 3 trims. You don't even get like an LX anymore. So even the base model comes with leather. And I mean, I guess that's just how things are. The Odyssey, it's no longer like the bargain of, the minivan group. You can't get a base model Odyssey, at least here in Canada, at least right now. And because of that, I mean, it's hard to say exactly where this lands. I think the best thing about the Odyssey is that removable middle seat. Sure, the Pacifica does have the stow and go, and that works really, really well. But the removable middle seat means that, it's actually still comfortable within the second row. The stow and go seats, yes, while they do hide away and they're great if you have to have, a big cabin to carry whatever you need. But when you're sitting in those stow and go seats, they're just not the most comfortable. These seats are regular seats. They're comfortable. They just feel like regular seats should. And I mean, the entertainment system works well. Everything just works well. And that's what you expect from a Honda. It doesn't really stand out in its class. There's nothing that says it's the best at anything. But what I can say is, it's just so good overall. It makes this a really good choice when it comes to your family's needs. And that's really the basis of it. And that's really all you have to know. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.